Alright, my name is Mase, and for my presentation today I did the Emperor's new clothes. And to start off, I just did a simple character study using simple shapes and drew different characters in the story. And the first character I started with was the Emperor, and I chose this shape, because I liked the roundness and he looked kind of plump. This makes him look kind of plump, and he's an Emperor, so he's probably wealthy. And so, yeah. And then a little more development. I didn't like just the flat top, so I added this little diamond on top to make him seem a little more important. And then I went through some development with the color, tried red and blue and purple, and ended up going with the purple because it's a little more royal than the other two. And then I just gave him some other details. And then to develop the first scene, I just started with a simple castle design for his empire, and used this color I used on the skin, and then I also did it in white and black. And then I put him in each one, and I didn't like how the same color of his face was the same color of the castle, so then I went with the white and black one, and added some details like trees and people. And then I thought the sky was a little too much. It didn't contrast enough, so then I put this color. And this is my final for scene 1. And this scene depicts the Emperor showing off his clothes to all the people in his empire. And I kept these people pretty simple because I wanted the focus to be on him. And then to the next part, back to the character development. For the two people who claim to be master weavers and could weave a cloth that only people suitable for their position would be able to see, I wanted to use these hard edge shapes because they were kind of not very honest with the Emperor. And so to develop them, I just gave them the color of their face and nothing else. And then to develop my second scene, I put them in a room in the castle, and the Emperor peeking in, and these are the wounds they're working on. And there's nothing on them, because they weren't making anything. And then a little further development, I added the color of the sky and a door to show that the Emperor was peeking into the door. And finally, I didn't like that, so I added a corner and to make it look more like a room. And this is my final for scene 2, where the Emperor is peeking in to see the progress, but he can't see anything, so he's a little worried. He's like, oh, I'm not suitable for my position, but he didn't tell me once. So. And then finally, to move to the third scene, where the little girl calls him out for not wearing any clothes. I wanted to keep her pretty simple, so I had a little bow at the top, and I tried both colors here, black and purple, but I wanted her to stand out a little, so I went with the purple. And I used a split screen here to show that she was like calling him out for not wearing any clothes. And this scene development was pretty simple because I already had everything. I had the castle made and these people, but then I added these guys running away, the two guys together. So this is my final for scene 3. My 3 scenes again. 1, 2, 3.
I just think you did a really good job on your presentation. Like,
a little louder, Hannah, we can't hear back here.
I just think you can really tell like what you're trying to like depict and everything. I think you did a really good job. I really like how your colors contrast each other, and so they like make the purple really stand out.
Emmy?
So how you've been on the one to do like flesh color as one of their colors, and I think that was really cool because you know it makes everything look realistic, but you're not just
being plain, just black, white, purple. And then I like your bad guys. I think they look bad.
Rob?
I think the scene development and the character development you did was really good. A lot of thought went into it. Obviously, it shows, and also the choice of colors and using that flesh tone in there gives a nice contrast, yet gives it some reality, I guess. But good job.
What?
Maybe since in scene 2 you made the bad guys like they have like flesh colored heads, but you didn't make them in the scene 3. There's like all black.
Well, it's just like
the
a
silhouettes.
silhouette, they're
Oh,
just
okay.
running away in the background. I
Okay.
didn't want to draw any attention, a lot of attention.
Let's talk about that scene. First of all, I think this is a very good job, let me say that. And there are just a couple of the smallest tweaks I think you could do to the first two. But the second scene, them running away, the last scene, them running away is really a good point, but it's kind of hard to pick it out of that situation. And I'm wondering why you made it a split screen as opposed to just putting the girl in the other part, which would have enabled you to make that a little larger, and we would have seen them running away better. Did you think about doing that? Because that can be a simultaneous thing, and it is really technically in the same location.
I guess I just wanted to like have this in there because all my other ones were the same and I wanted her to be pretty big. But then again, I could do a full screen and just have her right in the top corner or the bottom corner and have her really big.
Yeah, particularly the way you depicted her, she'll fit just as well in the bottom of the other scene as she will off there by herself. Because I think in a way it's just kind of a shame to lose the running away of the tailors, the so-called tailors. Other comments or questions or suggestions about that?
I kind of thought that it was pretty good that he did the split screen. Like, even though the girl, she could probably be a little bit smaller and maybe extended a bit, but I think it's good that he kind of emphasized, oh, this is a big moment. Like, this girl calling out the emperor, she's technically considered one of the main parts, and it's almost like he's saying this is very important.
Yeah.
Well, maybe to make the guys stand out a little better, make them a little bigger, but then make them white with a black outline, even though that's not technically like a shadow silhouette type thing, they would still stand out because they kind of look like trees.
Well, let's just imagine this for a moment. Supposing the upper left just continues down to the bottom, and the little girl is very much foregrounded.
So you're saying she's in this scene and these guys are going to be in this?
Yeah, because they really are in the same location. I mean, she's there while the guys are running away, but it's not that she's off in another room or something. So she could be put into that, and then maybe if you do that, in case she's heavily foregrounded, you might even be able to move the guys to the other side of the picture if you kept that whole thing as one scene. See what I'm saying? And you'd be able to make them just just a tiny bit bigger or something. See what I'm saying?
So, I like the split screen idea, so like, maybe instead put the girl in the scene with the king, and then like, for the bottom split screen, have the kingdom and like in the far background, the two bad guys getting away from that, maybe?
Well, let me ask you this. Why do you say you like the split screen here?
I'm just saying, if he wants to show the guys run away, you can use the split screen technique on that.
You have the bad guys in the split screen.
Yeah.
But put her into the regular part? Okay, I see that, okay. Yeah, at any rate, I think you could play around with that a little bit and just make us see the bad guys better and work on one of this. The other two was just some small tweaks, and I do mean really small. I think that in the second one, you just have a little bit more white space at the bottom of that than you need. And I'm wondering if you might wanna just,
I could like try and edit their sacks that they were putting, the stuff the emperor gave them.
or what I was thinking too, the other thing you can do is just simply put, freeze all that stuff together and enlarge the whole thing just slightly and drop it down just a fraction. And then you'll still get the effect of the loom reaching up there, but filling that little tiny bit of extra space there. On the first one, the only thing that I think I might do just a little differently is just move the king a hair to the right so that the jewel or crown that represents the crown cardigan isn't touching the line that takes in the, so it doesn't seem to be fastened or fixed on that. And great, I think there's a lot of thought that went into this one, some really careful depiction of things. Even as it stands right now, it's a very good job. I think you can do just a few more tweaks to it before you put it into your blog, but very good. And I think you presented it well. You gave us good direction there. Anyone else? Okay, thank you.